injuries, call 212 Law Team.
I've been injured in an accident. My doctor tells me I now have chronic regional pain syndrome. Can that be related to my accident, and can I be compensated for that? Hi, my name is Matt Haicken. I'm a personal injury trial lawyer right here in New York City. The answers to those questions are yes and yes. I've gotten a lot of people over the years who've been injured in accidents and they develop chronic regional pain syndrome. This is a painful neurological condition. Now, first of all, I'm not a doctor. For medical advice, you should go to a doctor. But even if your doctor says you have chronic regional pain syndrome, the insurance company that's defending your case will probably say that you don't have chronic regional pain syndrome. It's a fake condition. And even if you do have it, it couldn't be related to your accident. That is sort of the general position of the liability insurance industry. And when I say liability insurance, I mean insurance companies that do like car insurance, homeowners insurance. We're not talking about health insurance. Chronic regional pain syndrome is not something that can be diagnosed objectively. It doesn't show up on an X-ray or an MRI, or there's no blood test for it. There's subjective complaints and a variety of symptoms, and they often can fall into that category and be called chronic regional pain syndrome. Case in point, I represented a woman, a young woman who was walking home, and she was hit by a car that was making a left turn. My client was in the crosswalk. She'd done nothing wrong. She ended up with a torn meniscus in her knee. She did not have surgery, but she did develop all of the symptoms and signs of chronic regional pain syndrome. The car that hit her was insured by Geico, and it had a $100,000 insurance policy. Claims adjuster offered only $10,000. I was asking for $90,000. And throughout the entire litigation, 2.5 years, depositions, going to court, arguing motions, all of it, he never came above $10,000. So finally, after 2.5 years, we went to trial. And their argument was chronic regional pain syndrome is fake. It couldn't be related to the accident. After all that time, the jury came back and gave my client $75,000. So why do I tell you this? I tell you this because if you've been in an accident and you have chronic regional pain syndrome, you better have a lawyer that's willing to go all the way to trial, because the insurance industry, they don't roll over on these cases. They fight tooth and nail, and they try to convince juries that it's a phony condition. After the verdict, I was very proud of this verdict, and I wanted to sort of commemorate the moment. And if you've seen my other videos on here, you've probably noticed that I sometimes have actual accident video footage, or I've hired someone to do an animation of the accident. I didn't have that here, but I wanted something to I wanted an artist's rendering of what it looked like when I went up against Geico. So I had the idea, but I'm not an artist. I hired somebody to draw what it looked like when I went up against Geico. Here is that drawing right now. This is me versus Geico. Hope you enjoyed that one. Again, I didn't do the drawing, it was just my idea. And I did send that to the claims adjuster after the case. If you've been injured and you have any questions about your accident, you're thinking about filing a lawsuit, give me a call. Here, answer your questions all the time. There's never a fee unless we win. The call is always free. For accidents and injuries, call 212 Law Team.
For accidents